Here's another complete review from 3 days and 3 noches, where we just got back from Punta Cana at the Majestic Mirage. And it's the first time that we're trying out a Majestic property, so we're really excited to bring you everything we loved about this resort and some of the things we didn't like so much. So let's get started. So first, let's talk about transportation. Again, make sure you set up that transportation before arriving to the airport. Just like the airport in Cancun, the airport in Punta Cana is full of people just waiting to hound you to get their business, and you can fall victim to scams. Since we did not have a contact here, we went through the resort and they use Go Majestic, and I highly recommend them. Very impressed. They set up everything ahead of time, were very responsive, got there on time, very safe transportation there and back, and it was about $80 round trip. We were impressed actually right from the start. They greeted us upon arrival, took our bags, had nice warm towels for us, made sure that we took our temperature and we sanitized our hands. And then they took us over to the checkout area where they served us drinks, and they had a nice area with coffee and snacks, and then also a nice restroom if you needed to use it. We were waiting there for quite a bit, maybe 45 minutes. And then when they finally did get to us, we were told that our room wasn't ready yet. So that's the only complaint that we did have. And we found out that since we booked through hotels.com, we did get some extra perks. So it's something to consider when you're booking this resort. The property itself is beautiful. The lobby is stunning. Everything is really clean. You always see people sanitizing and cleaning, and it opens up to this beautiful courtyard. I love that it's very walkable, easy to navigate, that you don't need golf carts to get around. You can walk from the lobby to the beach in 5 minutes, and everything is just very accessible. Make sure to watch the entire walking tour that we did in the next video to see the entire property. So now it's time for some ratings. We're starting with the rooms, and they are definitely a 9 out of 10. We got there early, we were able to walk the property a little bit, but now it's time to see the room, and I can't wait to show you. So we upgraded to an ocean front room. And wait till you see. Amazing, amazing. It has 2 bathrooms. So here's the first bathroom right here, which is nice. And then look, it has its own separate just sitting area, really. Table, sofa, TV, even a little bar that you could sit here. But this is why you go on vacation. Wow, oh my God. And wait till you see the patio. Huge. Seating area, our own jacuzzi hub right here. Oh my God, I'm completely blown away. It's gorgeous. So one of the reasons for the 9 out of 10 was the loud music that you heard in the previous video. Even though we shot this in the late afternoon, they do start the music around 8:30 in the morning. So if you like to sleep in, this is not the room for you. We did not mind it because we were always up early, but definitely I thought it was worth mentioning if you are considering requesting this room. I loved the fact that there were 2 separate areas, one for sleeping, one for sitting. And again, everything was so super clean. They came and cleaned the entire room every single day and gave us fresh towels, changed the beds. And then if there was anything that you needed or wanted, all you had to do was request it, or even contact your butler and he would bring it to you. They had the double sinks, a whole extra bathroom, which was a nice perk. The bathtub we never used, but they had another bathroom. And then they did have the rainfall shower. The water pressure was not the best, but also not the worst. And I found in resorts that's usually the case. A few nitpicky things. One was the sofa in the sitting area was made of velour and it was always damp and felt like it wasn't clean, which makes sense because in the Dominican Republic, it's very humid. So it just didn't really fit in with the decor. And there are two TVs, one in the sitting area, one in the bedroom, but they also seemed a little outdated. However, I'm not a huge TV watcher. In fact, I never watch TV when I'm on vacation, but I thought I should mention it. Overall, the room was exceptional and was one of the highlights of our trip. They had a great mini fridge as well, and it was always stocked with whatever you wanted as long as the resort had it. All you had to do was ask your butler, and he would get you what you wanted. And during the day, they would stock it as well. If you wanted liquor, they would get you a bottle of liquor as long as they had it there in the resort. We did take advantage of the 24-hour room service one morning, actually 2 mornings, and it was really good. It was so nice just to really take advantage of that nice balcony, enjoy the view, and just relax while you're on vacation. And again, the service was really, really good. They even had this compartment right when you enter the room that they could deliver the room service if you didn't want them to come into the room. And then when you were done, you could put all the dishes in there so that you didn't have to put them outside of your door. So the resort remained really clean and animal free. Our 3 days in Tres Noches travel companions opted for the rooftop suite, which was a little bit of different layout in the first floor where the bathrooms and the sleeping area and the sitting area were all in one section. They did have a little balcony off of the sitting area, but then you go up the stairs to this incredible rooftop deck. It had a huge jacuzzi and a sitting area, and they absolutely loved it. Again, it made the experience that much better. They did actually have a room when they first got there that they did not like. It was the same rooftop deck, but the jacuzzi tub was not filling up with water. So again, the advantage of having that butler, Jeffrey took care of it right away, and he actually put them right next to us, so it all worked out. The beach is absolutely a 10 out of 10. If you love beaches, then you definitely need to go to Punta Cana and experience their beaches. They are amazing. And I love that the water is clear and it's not too cold. There's some waves. And there were even some days I saw people snorkeling literally right offshore. So I know that it was clear for them. And it got a little windy one day, so when we were thinking about doing some of the water sports, it really wasn't a good day for that. But the first day we got there, we saw a lot of people using the non-motorized water sports as well as the motorized water sports. And it's very walkable. We took nice walks on the beach. It's absolutely gorgeous. There's plenty of seating. Again, it did get windy a few days. And there's also beach vendors that do come around. So if you don't like that, something to consider. It doesn't bother me. In fact, I love to shop at any time. So I was buying things during the day as well and didn't mind it. But they are very respectful. If you're not interested, they go away right away. And I definitely recommend the beaches in Punta Cana. In fact, we took a day trip to this beautiful island, Saona, which I'm going to talk more about later, for even a more amazing, incredible beach experience. The pools for me are an 8 out of 10. In fact, I was going to give them a 7 out of 10, but they were really clean and the service was great. I just found the layout very, very odd. It's basically a lazy river that runs along all the rooms in the resort. And so anytime I was sitting at the pool, I kind of felt like I was at someone else's pool or invading someone's privacy. I also usually really love the activities that they have, and I know that they had them because they listed them, but I never really heard them or saw them. So I prefer just a large pool that's kind of like the hub of the resort with all the activities. They did have a separate section just for families that seemed to have a little bit more action going along, but I thought even for kids, it might be a very weird layout. So now it's finally time for some food and drinks, and I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. Overall, it was really good. In fact, this is the third resort I've been to in Punta Cana, and it was definitely my favorite when it came to food and drinks. We were there for 4 nights, so we were able to go to the French, the Italian, the hibachi, and the steakhouse. And we all agreed that our favorite was the hibachi, and our least favorite was the French. Another great thing was, since we did book through hotels.com, which is Expedia, they were able to really get the reservation times that we wanted. They also had a buffet option for both breakfast, lunch, and dinner if you didn't want to go to an a la carte restaurant at night. And the buffets were outstanding. In fact, I was very excited because they had an amazing salad bar, which I don't know why, but in Mexico it is hard to find a good salad bar. So I look forward to that for lunch every day. And they grilled chicken and burgers, and then in the morning they had omelets and pancakes and everything you would expect from a buffet. I loved that they had a cafe that you could go to in the morning, something that was missing in the last resort we went to. And then they also had a 24-hour sports bar as well, which we've really only used in the afternoon for a snack, but it's always nice to know that you can go somewhere and get food and drinks 24 hours a day when you're on vacation. The drinks were outstanding, and they really had a great selection of top shelf liquors. And in fact, I drank more tequila in the Dominican Republic than I did in Mexico. But the blenders were always going, and they had the Presidente beer. The only little issue was that sometimes the service at the bars was really, really slow. And again, I know that's just due to the lack of staff and COVID and the different things that they're experiencing. And so I don't want to judge this resort on that, because in fact, some of the staff told us that they start at 6 a.m. and they don't even leave till 11 p.m. at night. So I just was grateful, and I didn't mind waiting. I was on island time, but otherwise, if you wanted to get service around the pool and the beach, you always could. And finally, for the activities, I'm giving them an 8 out of 10. They had all the typical activities a resort would have, including non-motorized water sports, and you could pay extra for the motorized water sports. They had volleyball on the beach, and then they did have pool activities, although I mentioned earlier I never saw any. And then at night they would have shows and lots of different things that you could do. I do think the activities were reduced a little bit because of COVID, including karaoke, which of course is one of my favorites, but I'm not going to hold that against this resort. Really, the highlight of our trip was our excursion that we took to the island of Saona that we booked through the resort and their company, Go Majestic Tours. And I definitely recommend visiting this island. In fact, I'm going to do an entire video just dedicated to this excursion. For $99 a person, it included the transportation, also food and drinks, and then we had a really fun party boat that took us out there and we could swim. And then we had time on the island. For extra money, you could do massages and have pina coladas and fresh coconut water, and it really was an ideal dream. It was one of the most beautiful islands I've ever visited. The one suggestion I would take, the transportation that they provided, you had to pick up other people at different resorts. So we had to leave at 7:30 in the morning, and we really didn't even get to the boat until 10 o'clock. So that's the only thing I would do differently. I would take my own transportation down into the town and then my own transportation back. So final thoughts about the Majestic Mirage in Punta Cana. And I was actually impressed even before getting to the resort, because I'm the type of person who likes to call the resort first. I have questions, and usually when that happens, no one answers or you're put on hold for a very long time. But this time someone answered every single time. In fact, it was the same person. Her name was Luce. She was so pleasant. She knew all the answers and set everything up for me. Then the tour company, Go Majestic Tours, it was the same. You communicate through WhatsApp, and they responded right away, emailed me all the confirmations, and were very responsive, sent me the tour information. So I just was impressed before even getting there. Then the resort property is absolutely beautiful, and it's walkable, which I'm even learning things that I like when I travel. I like a walkable property. So the fact that I could get to the lobby and to the beach in under 10 minutes, I absolutely loved, and it was so clean and gorgeous. And the food, although not the best I've ever had in an all-inclusive, in Punta Cana it was, and lots of choices. Love the fact that they have the 24/7 room service and the sports bar. Even though I didn't really use it, it's just that peace of mind knowing that if you're out late, it's an option. Also love that they have a cafe. with coffee and different things in the morning as well. The drinks were also outstanding. Top shelf liquor, the blender is always going, craft cocktails, and also the Presidente beer. And really, I think what made our visit more special than anything was our butler, Jeffrey. Just having that, he set up all the reservations and the testing and got us anything that we need, always checking in on us. And then of course our trip to Saona, which I'm gonna do an entire video about. Some of the downsides, the pool layout was weird for me. I didn't like the lazy river layout. Some people may not mind it. I personally like a bigger pool and more activities. And then also the service was a little off, but again, it's very unusual times. I'm not gonna hold that against this resort or any of the resorts right now, because I can't imagine what it's like for the workers and also for the resorts to have to get these up and running, half capacity, all the challenges that they are facing. Which brings me to the COVID testing. It was so seamless, it was complimentary at this resort. It literally took 15 minutes. Like I said, our butler set it up and he also got the results. We took the test on Sunday, had the results by Tuesday with no issues. So overall, I would absolutely recommend this resort. I don't think I would bring my family there, however. It didn't seem like there were a lot to do for kids. Again, I didn't go there with my kids, so maybe I'm wrong. And if you've been there and you've experienced, you know, a good experience with your family there, please comment below. And in fact, I respond to all questions and comments. So if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe and follow us on 3 Days and 3 Noches while we take you on really fun, exciting, affordable adventures and vacations that you can have in a really short amount of time.
Follow 3 Days, 3 Noches.